I thought we don't call him Matthew. I'm just kidding.
Good one. Matthew Lee, Inner City Press. Saw on the Secretary General's schedule for today at 10:45, I believe, the Ismael Ould Cheikh Ahmed, the Yemen envoy. Can you confirm that he was extended for 6 months?
No.
And I guess since statements have been made as to regarding other officials, is there and I know that Farhan gave a quote about Mr. de Mistura.
Yeah, I just don't. I have
You
no
don't know.
information on his
Okay.
contract, on the status of his contract. What I do know is that he continues as the special envoy for Yemen.
Right. Well, and others have asked, like, so the Department of Management, does it have an officer in charge now, or is Mr. Takasu still the USG of Management?
I have no update on that. I will give you one as soon as I have one.
Now, there hadn't been any pirate ship takings off Somalia since 2012, and now there have been 2 in about a week, including an Indian ship that's just been taken. And I wonder, I know that the UN system was all revved up at the time. What's the current UN, I guess, preparedness to deal with this? What's their knowledge of it? And do you have any comment on the resurgence of this issue?
No, obviously, you know, we've seen these reports. I think it's the I don't want to say the rise, but the number of reports we've seen recently is troubling. But as far as the UN system response to it, I will check what the status is.
And just, I wanted to, there have been some high-profile beatings of people, Africans from different countries in India recently. And I've heard the African ambassadors in New Delhi have said that there should be a UN involvement in what they see as xenophobic attacks on their citizens. Is there any UN involvement or response to these attacks?
There's no UN involvement that I'm aware of. We do very much hope that these people who are responsible for these attacks are brought to justice.
So I've seen, I guess, a video of a farewell to Mr. Vatsus done in the GA lobby with, like, people saluting. And I guess I just wanted to know, is it decided department by department how much fanfare to give these exits, or how is that?
Well, each department organizes its own farewell. Obviously, DPKO, with its strong military and police tradition, I think put together a farewell that was extremely appropriate for Mr. Latsus along the traditions that they have.
Right, but if it was in the visitors' lobby, like, was it? I guess.
I mean, I don't see what the problem was with it.
Okay,
but
no,
I think it was completely appropriate for his service.
Is going to be done in writing after the fact. So I'm asking you.
Well,
about
that's. I think
it's.
I think first of all, unless we're all deaf, I don't think there was a 21-gun salute. Second of all, I think there's a difference between what Abdelhamid was asking about, which is an official thank you, and what you were talking about, which is each department or division doing a thank. So they were completely different things.
Okay, all right. So I wanted to ask you, in Sri Lanka, there's a military figure called Shrivendra Silva that you may remember.
Yes.
He was appointed as a senior.
I know.
Okay, so there was some controversy, and he ended up, even the UN Secretariat seemed to acknowledge that there was a controversy under Mr. Shet. He's recently been named the Chief Administrative Officer of the Sri Lankan military. So I wanted to know, one, if you have a comment, but two, how this may relate to the vetting of Sri Lankan peacekeepers, which I've asked about in writing, being deployed to UN peacekeeping missions.
I think the vetting of peacekeepers will remain the same along our procedures.
So it's just.
And I have no specific comment on him.
And the last one is this. I'd ask you this in writing, and I'd hope to get an answer, but I'm going to ask you now. On the Earth Hour thing that was done on a Friday, I believe it's now 10 days ago, the Secretary General recorded a video saying, "Join me in turning off all lights." And just factually, UNDP, like, almost all the lights were on, and even the UN residence, the lights were on. So
I know you were you were monitoring the residents.
Well, yeah.
As far as UNDP was concerned, I don't know. We don't run that building, so I think that's a question to be asked to the people who manage the building.
But isn't it fair to say, if he's asking the world as a whole to join him?
Yes.
It's right across the street.
Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Stefan,
Yeah.
nice to see you. In any case, I just wanted to ask you the same old question about.
Sure. Maybe this is a long shot, but there's a pretty high-profile strike in French Guyana against France by the workers there, and it's actually now resulted in the canceling of a satellite mission to go around the Earth. And I'm just wondering, given that the UN gets involved in such issues in other countries, is there any DPA? Is there any comment on how it should be resolved?
No, I have no comment at this point. Thank you.